So last week we finished with sloka number 25 of Upadesa Saram, Upadesa Undya, where we saw how to worship the Ishvara. Tannai ubadi vit orvadi tan Isan tannai unarvada mundipara tanai ulivadal undipara, meaning you have to give up the upadi between Ishvara. What is the upadi between Ishvara and Jivatma? It is very simple. It is Ishvara has got Maya has a upadi. Jiva has got avidya has a upadi. Meaning, for Ishvara also has the upadi of Maya, because only the ultimate Parabrahma does not have any upadi. Ishvara has upadi called Maya. That is why we are able to see Ishvara, or we are able to conceive Ishvara. And Jivas, like us, we have avidya. Avidya is ignorance. And only because of that avidya, what happens? We are taking, we think we are a human being. We are a being other than the Sat. Sat is the only being that is always there. It is always only Sat, Chit, Ananda. But we have, because of this innate quality of avidya, we are considering ourselves to be a human being. And we think we are born in this earth and all those things are happening, and because of that, we are thinking we are limiting ourselves from the original Satchitananda and considering ourselves to be limited to this bodily form. For us, it is the whole thing, only we are there. Everything else other than this body is separate. The separation has taken place. Why did the separation take place? It is only because of avidya. And our only duty, our only sadhana is not to become Brahman, because we are forever Parabrahma. We are forever Parabrahma, we are forever Atman. That's the original Atman. And Atman equal to Brahman is the core philosophy of Vedanta. But for some reason, without our knowledge, for some reason, we don't know what the reason is, and we don't even know what the reason is. But only thing we know is that instead of being the Brahman, instead of being the unadulterated Satchitananda, the pristine pure Satchitananda, a small spark called I rises up from a big fire called Brahman. And that small spark, what it thinks? It thinks, I am limited. I am only this body. And everything other than this body is not me. This is exactly how we come into the trap of samsara. This is what samsara is all about. This is what we think. This is what we call as bondage. We think it is bondage. But in the ultimate sense, if you look at it, there is no bondage at all. Never has been any bondage for the Parabrahma. The Brahma is not bonded. And in the next couple of slokas, we'll be seeing that there is nothing called bondage. There is nothing called... Nobody is under bondage. Nobody needs liberation. Everybody is forever liberated. It is only due to this avidya that we think that we are bound. And we need to stop this act. We need to stop thinking we are bound. How? Only by again and again Bhagavan keeps repeatedly saying, you have to know who you are. That is the only problem for all of us. There is no other problem. We need to know who we are. Bhagavan clearly told, Tannai ubadi vit orvadatan isat, which means we have to leave the limiting agent. Whatever, something is blocking us. Some upadi is blocking us from knowing who we are. What that upadi is nothing but avidya, our upadi. And once we drop that, we will know we are nothing but Ishvara. That Arunachala, we are always praying to Arunachala with the Anya Bhava. that Anya Bhava, once we drop this avidya, that Anya Bhava will go off and we will become Ananya with Arunachala, and we will have no problem in understanding we are nothing but Arunachala. That Arunachala, that we are taking all the pains and going all the way, booking our flight tickets, booking our train tickets, taking care of our car and driving all the way, going to Tiruvannamalai, going into the temple and ultimately worshipping Arunachala. Great feeling, yes, it is a great feeling for us currently, but that is only because of our avidya. The day that avidya moves, departs, we will know we are always the Arunachala that is there in Tiruvannamalai. We are not even half an inch different. There's not even half an inch difference between us and the Lord in Tiruvannamalai. How will we know that? Only when we give up our Upadi. And that is what Bhagavan says. That song, Tannai Upadi vittu orvathu. Upadi means adjunct. That is the limiting factor. And that limiting factor as far as Jiva is concerned is avidya. We have to conquer that. Tannai Upadi vittu orvathu than Isan Tannai unarvadam. Tanai olivadam. Because once that avidya drops, then automatically we will shine forth as Parabrahma. As Parabrahma, which is nothing but the Ishvara that we are thinking, which is the Arunachala that we are considering today. Okay, so again, to repeat in song 16, from song 16, Bhagavan started the teaching, the most important teaching of Advaita Vedanta, Veli Vishayangali Vittu Manam, meaning leaving all outside mind, knowing its own form of light, the true form of mere consciousness, the real self, having given up and knowing external objects. But giving up external objects, as we saw even last two classes, leaving out external objects happens even during deep sleep. In deep sleep, we do not know, because the mind has subsided, we do not know anything about external world, external objects. They are just like a log, they are sleeping. But leaving out external object, and after that, what we should do? We should focus ourselves on the feeling of I. That is not happening in the deep sleep. That is the difference between deep sleep and Atma Sadhana or Atma Vichara. Once we do that, leave out all external object and focus on the feeling of I, that is when we will know that there is nothing called I. I has never ever happened. Like in the dim light, when we keenly focus on the rope, we are focusing only on the serpent, because we are seeing only that. We are focusing on the serpent. And then when we keenly understand, we know that there has never been a serpent. There has only been the original rope. Similarly, when we focus on this artificial I, which is a non-existing entity, when we clearly focus on that I, what we know? That I is never been there. Only the pure Satchitananda has been there, and that is what we are. We will come to that. So, in the 16th sloka, Bhagavan has given us a clue as to what the truth is. And in the 17th sloka, Bhagavan clearly says, we have to, without giving room for forgetfulness, keep on understanding, keep on looking at the form of what is mind, manadin uru, manadu, which means you keep on focusing on the I without forgetfulness, then that is when we will understand that there has never been a thing called mind. It is only pure Satchitananda. Out of that, the mind has germinated like a small plant. It is only a seeming germination. It is not like a plant growing from a tree or from a seed. It is only a seeming. It is only an appearance. So we will understand that. So all we have to do is, without giving room for being forgetful, without giving room for forgetfulness, just keep focusing on that I am feeling. And slowly we will come to understand that there has never been anything called mind. It is only an imagination. It is only due to avidya. that we are thinking, that we have a mind, and because of that mind that mind tells this is the body and this body is me, and all that is happening. Why? Only because of that mind. So if we focus as to what is the form of this mind, immediately we will come to know there has never been anything called mind. This will come in practice. It's not like it will happen overnight or something like that. It will take time. But it will happen, definitely. This is Bhagavan's, Bhagavan is vouchsafing to us that this is how things are. And Bhagavan has also told in many times, there is nothing called time. There are people who have asked Bhagavan, when will I realize how long it will take? See, all this long, short time, all this is mind-made. Only when the mind is there, time comes into picture. Otherwise, there is time. What is time? There is nothing called time. So, our job is to not bother about how long it will take or when it will happen. This is not our botheration. Our botheration is only to obey Bhagavan's words. Bhagavan is clearly told, keep looking at the I feeling. That is exactly what is known as, that is the who am I Bhagavan has taught. A lot of people may think of who am I. A lot of people we still have who have not understood, who just read something here and there, and they think Bhagavan's teaching. Yes, who am I? So I'll ask who am I, and I'll wait for an answer. There's no answer for that who am I. It's not about to get the idea of who am I taught by Bhagavan. It's not a question actually. It is only a question to remind yourself, who am I? Then immediately the thought called I comes to your mind and we start focusing on that I. This is the purpose of who am I. And a lot of people who have not understood Bhagavan have written a lot of literature about this who am I. That is not how it is. The only purpose of asking, whenever we see, I see some object in front of me. I see, right now I see a computer in front of me. I see a computer. Okay, fine. Who is seeing this computer? The answer is me. I am seeing the computer. Then the question, I am seeing. Okay, who am I? Then what happens? The mind goes to the I feeling. We have to reduce ourselves. It is a decreasing proposition. Mind comes to that feeling of I. The purpose of who am I is to ensure that our mind comes to that feeling of I. Once it comes to that feeling of I, what happens? We are going to stare at that I, blank, and give a blank stare at that I. Keep on doing the blank stare at that I will fall down. That is what Bhagavan says in 18th sloka, Ennangale madam, yavilum nam enum ennam. The thought called I is the first. The mind is nothing but a culmination, a combination or a bundle of thoughts. It's a bundle of thoughts. And of all the thoughts, the first thought that comes to you is I. I am this body. So, this is the thought that we need to focus on. So, what Bhagavan says, the mind is only a multitude of thoughts. Of all these thoughts, the thought I, the feeling I am the body, alone is the root. Therefore, what is called mind is nothing but this root thought I. So now what happens? We don't need to bother about anything else. All we need to do is cut the root thought from its root. Cut out the root thought. Once it is over, everything is done. So Bhagavan is so beautifully bringing us a simple way. Vedanta says so many ways. No, neti. No, not this. How many times we keep doing it? Everything appears to be as somehow associated with our own selves. Until Bhagavan came into the scene and asked, who are you? Who you are? Find out who you are. Before that, we were trying to take a very circuitous look, but Bhagavan is the one who gave us this very, very, very small, direct way of finding out who we are. So, all he says is, we know that the first thought that comes to everyone is the I thought, I am the body thought. All you have to do is focus on that and eliminate that thought. You can't be eliminating, I can't eliminate New York, I can't eliminate Chennai, I can't eliminate Hyderabad, whatever. No, all that is not happening. All that is waste of time. It will never, there's no end to the amount of imagination the mind can do. So, what is the way? The way is simple. The only thought, the only thing you have to eliminate is the I thought. And Bhagavan has clearly told, Naan endru elum idam edu. Find out the place from where this feeling called I rises out. If you find that out, then you will find that I will fall down. Naan thalai saandidum. The moment you try to observe that mind is because that mind is a phantom. It is a non-existing. Just like how there is only a rope, there is never a snake. There is never a snake in that rope. It is only an ignorance that creates a rope, snake in the rope. Similarly, there is only the Parabrahma Satchidananda. On that, due to ignorance, we are thinking that I is there, I am there. This Vasu who is sitting here and giving a talk is there. Or every one of us, for that matter. Every one of the human being in the world. We think all this is only because of a wrong conception of, only because, why is there individuality? Individuality is there only because of avidya or avichara. We are not doing vichara, that is why we are allowing the individuality to gain strength. So what we need to do? Erase the individuality. How? See who am I. What happens? When you see who am I, you go and focus on who am I. The I, that I comes into the forefront. The I thought. This is not the original I, this is the I thought. A false I, the snake on the rope. So you keep focusing on that I thought. And that I thought will disappear. And when at the place where the I thought disappears, what happens? You only see Satchidananda, that is exactly what we are. So in 20th sloka, Bhagavan said, Naan ennum sthanathu, Naan endru ondru adu thondrume. In the place of I, the pseudo I, in the place of snake, once the scrutiny is successful, only rope is seen. Similarly, in the place of I, where we are scrutinizing that pseudo I, only the original I. The I am I. Who are you? I am I. Nothing else. But I am, if you say I am Vasu, that's totally false. That is totally ignorance. Avidya. Nothing else but avidya. If somebody asks you, who are you? If you say, I am this, which means your identity is driven by the false I, which is not you. The only meaningful answer to who are you can be, I am I. That's all. What else can you say? Because that I has got no identity. So we'll have to come there. So in 20th sloka, Bhagavan said, Naan ennum sthanathu, in the place called I, the pseudo I, the false I, Naan, I, continuous flow of I, what I will happen. That is what you are, Bhagavan teaches. That is fullness, that is the wholeness, that is Purnam. That is what you are. That is Bhagavan's teaching in Sloka 20.